We came to R2D2 about 10 months ago now. We came to Portland, left Seattle, sold all of our stuff. We're getting prepared to get a live-in caregiver position. He was going to kind of be a handyman. Jim, yeah. And when that went, when that fell through, we ran through our savings. In hotels, just because of being housed, we had no clue how to save our money and make it last. So it didn't take long before we were like, okay, now what? We had to get our stuff, and we stayed in right near Gateway for a few weeks, and stayed in some bushes. And somebody up there was selling street roots and said, you need to find, if you two want to stay together, you're going to want to find Tent City. So we came to downtown Portland and started looking for it. We found it, and we have been here ever since. And they've had it a lot worse than you. They've had to carry their stuff all day long. They've not gotten a break from anything, and yet, we sit here where we have access to the restroom, we have electricity, we have, kitchen. We're spoiled when it comes to, the hierarchy, not the hierarchy, but different, groups of people in the houses here.
What's the capacity here?
At any, I think, hold on, 20, 35, 41, 60 at any given time will sleep in these, and then we have anywhere between 20 and 30 members that run, keep the place operating, so we live here all the time.
Just under 100. It's a lot less smaller.
Yeah.
So you're right, people are very close together, you have to be very tolerant.
We keep the operations here going, but also do activist work, go to City Hall, work with other groups, things like that. This group here, though, it's like family. It's for sure it's almost like the best. My family is not like this family, which is they're very tolerant. We've had individuals who've had issues with, being sexist or anger management issues, and how much care goes into trying to get them into classes or some kind of therapy or counseling, or just nobody here is disregarded or thrown away, or so. It's awesome, and you always have somebody. There's always somebody here.
What's going to happen in there usually?
Well, in the overnight, we do ask though that overnighters, people that are staying in the communal tents, refrain from any kind of sexual activity. And a lot of it too is that these are our bags, and so our bags are only washed a few times a week. Within a few hours, we're going to spray it down and give it to somebody else. So I don't know if it's a sanitary thing, a hygiene kind of thing, or but we had couples that have done it, and I tried, and this one here was no, we're not going to be kicked out of here because of this, garbage. So we did have to, refrain for a minute. But
so most people aren't going to risk it.
No,
it's not worth the risk.
No, it's really not. No, and neither is getting, argumentative or things that are probably people are more apt to do. Just being so frustrated and so. The doors are closed in your face all day long, and it's that level of frustration. You'd be surprised how cool people are. Scoot over, your spot's now going to fit 2 people instead of just you. Okay, most people are just really, really cool about it.
Yeah. How many couples are in here?
There are 3 couples right now.
Yeah, so is that the average? Is it not a common thing?
We have had we had one girl leave her old man who was staying here. We just had a couple go back home to Alaska. So yeah, I would say yeah, about 3 to 5 maybe at any given time. 2 sometimes.
Why do you think that is? Just that people generally are alone out here.
Why do I think that is? Because the streets will tear you up, and it's. I don't remember hearing the statistics, but I think that it wears you out. Having to leave and grab all your stuff and carry your stuff all day long. It's just you're almost attacking each other sometimes, venting a lot. I don't know. There's just that extra burden of just no comfort. There's no comfort in the world for yourself. It's hard to give it then to another person.
So how do you think this differs from actually being out on the streets on public property and trying to find a new place to sleep every night in terms of your security?
Right, totally. There is none. We have our tent. We have wool blankets that keep it warm, so we can sleep in nothing if that's what we choose. So I don't know what that's like to sleep under a bridge or to have that kind of transient movement, because We stayed up in Gateway, and from that point we came directly here. And so I don't know what it's like to be under a bridge in a doorway. That I've been lucky and fortunate that this place has been here for us, because I had no idea, and I don't really want to know, but I don't know. I mean, him and I, we made a decision. We were going to stay together. We're going to find our way through the end of it together, and just realizing like how few resources are available for couples was really, really startling. Just how they would want to discourage us from staying, or to stay apart. It just did not make sense to me. Like, this is, if he's having a bad day, there's, we've never both had such shitty days that we've, been like, let's just jump off the fucking bridge, Like, one of us has always been a cheerleader and just kept the other one going, because it does, it's eats you up. And that would mostly be like when we were on 12 and 12 status, like for the first month or so that we got
12
here.
and 12?
That's what they call it, like 12 in, 12, you can stay here 12 hours, but then you have to leave for 12 and you come back. So we call those overnights, but doing that, like first thing in the morning, you're waking up and you're carrying your entire life, everything you have on your back. It's just, I remember him and I we never had a good morning. Either one of us we weren't both together as far as both, throwing the towel, like, we can't do this anymore. Always the other ones were like, just hang in there, So it's been the best thing in the world. I don't know, I don't think I'd be here without him,
Are you and Jim, would you say, pretty sexually active?
Great.
Yeah. Like a couple times a week, 3 times a week, every day?
I would say a few times a week. Yeah, that's right.
It's more than my girlfriend.
It's a little bit harder. Yeah, it's a little bit harder for him, because I'm like, I don't care. If we were under a rock, it doesn't matter, because it's like you and I. But it's been really difficult for him, just because he's just like, we need a bed. There's just like certain things that he wants, but I get my way usually.
You mean as far as you're right next to someone, they can hear you?
Yes, and I've had to hear other couples. It's the most disgusting thing. But it's just being respectful. Like, we're not loud. You have to be aware of others. We are feet away from the next person, and I'm not going to subject them to it only because I've been subjected. That's not cool. Yeah.
So what kind of options do people have in this area if they just want to go jerk off or something?
not jerk off, but there's Paris Theater just a block up the street here from R2D2, and couples, I think it's 5 months for a whole year, or $5 for a whole year membership.
What is the Paris Theater?
It's just a big theater. I mean, you're going to get an audience, but at least him and I can be in like an enclosed area. We can do what we want to do, and unless you invite somebody in to join you, they just basically watch, which is a little unnerving when there's like 20 people just staring at you like right when you walk in. But they already, it's an option that we've chosen sometimes. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.